Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here today. Hope you had a great weekend. And I will ask you again to like, share, comment on the post, and then join me in the book of Acts, chapter 17, in the 16th verse. And we read these words. It says, "Now while Paul was waiting for them at Athens, his spirit was provoked within him as he saw the city was full of idols." Paul is now again in Athens, as it's clear, which was kind of the center of the world, more or less. It was the certainly the intellectual and cultural center of the world, and Paul was alone, probably very few of any other believers in the area. And so Paul did what you and I would probably do if we were in Athens and nobody else there with us. He got out and he started walking around, looking at the city. And as he walked around, he wasn't impressed by the culture. He wasn't impressed by all the academia that was in the city. Instead, he was broken. He was convicted because as he walked around, he saw that the city was full of idols. That's the literal Greek translation, full of idols. And historians, they estimate that there were multiplied thousands of idols in the city of Athens. The estimate is that there was at least one idol for every person who lived there. So when the Bible says it was full of idols, that's maybe an understatement. They were everywhere. They were along the street. They were in the buildings, on the buildings, in the homes, on the homes, and they were just everywhere. You couldn't, somebody, it's the old saying, you couldn't swing a cat and not hit an idol. The city was full of these idols that had been erected to all these various gods that they had created and had thought about. And when Paul saw that, it says that his spirit was provoked, or another word is stirred. This disturbed Paul. The word means that he was agitated, he was irritated because of all the idols that he saw in Athens, and obviously for obvious reasons, as these people were with all these idols, they were rejecting the God of Israel. They were rejecting Jesus Christ. I think it's safe to say he was also brokenhearted because these people. This was just an obvious demonstration of their spiritual condition, that they were spiritually blind, they were spiritually lost, that Satan was in control, that Satan had these people so bound up, so confused as they erected all these idols, and it was just again a overwhelming sight to Paul to see the condition of the people. And my question for all of us today, myself included, as we look around our city, are we stirred? Are we brokenhearted? Are we agitated, irritated by what we see spiritually in our city? A lot of people, particularly in the area where I live, there's a lot of growth, a lot of change going on, a lot of old buildings being torn down, a lot of new buildings being built. And a lot of people are bothered by that. They're disturbed by that. The old way of the little small mill village is kind of gone, and people are bothered by that. And I'm not whether right or wrong. They're bothered by that. But are we bothered by the spiritual condition that we see? Are we bothered by we don't necessarily see idols on every corner on the housetop, but we know they're there. We know that our neighbors, our friends, the vast majority of people who live around us don't know Christ. They don't know Him personally, and are lost and on their way to hell. And the question for us today is, are we stirred by that? Are we provoked by that? What are we going to do because of the spiritual condition, because of the idols, the idolatry that surrounds us? You think about that today as you go out, look at your city, look at your town. I'm reminded of a group of folks from South Korea, who were here back in the spring of this year, who went up on top of the city hall building and looked out over the city. And as they looked out, they were provoked. They were stirred. As they looked out, they said, and in roughly these exact words, "We see so much darkness." Do we see the darkness in our community? Are we carrying the light to that darkness? Something to think about. You have a good day, and I'll see you here tomorrow morning.